Yes, bills need to be paid, responsibility need to be had, but we're in a quagmire now. And when you need money, you take. You don't leave no money walk out of that door. I have friends that work in GEBE tell me that when people come, they beg, they cry, they plead. And you know what? Madam Chair, through you, they offer something, and they are turned back because it's not enough. It's not enough. We had a ransomware attack. No fault to the people of St. Martin. But who felt it? The people of St. Martin. Bills weren't coming. Then when the bills came, they're incorrect. And to this day, they're still incorrect. Who felt it? The people of St. Martin. And to the Honorable Minister of Finance, even if this is a backup, the 75.6 million, if it's approved and GB comes tomorrow and say, hey, I could find money, so I don't need your money. The housing project was already taken out, which the Honorable Prime Minister in his answer says St. Martin has a housing problem. And that's why I asked those specific questions. The Honorable Prime Minister said he agreed it has a housing problem. The Honorable Prime Minister also stated in his answer that he agrees the fuel clause is too high. And he's in a discussion with the relevant ministers to create relief. We're perfect. Then we're on the same page. Then it shouldn't be a problem when the motion is presented. I see the Honorable Minister of Tayal was already in motion with a tariff 60, understanding her responsibility, creating a special tariff for seniors. When I was Minister of ASI, I wanted to create a special water rate for seniors, and they said it's discriminatory. You have to go across the board. So perfect. Minister of Tayat, we're going to combine, and we're going to create a special tariff for everyone. Because in the concession ordinance, it clearly states, in the interest of the people, you have that authority. How long will we wait then? In the interests of the people. And I say this, for those who may say, yeah, you guys were there, why? We weren't asking for 75.6 million of the people's money. So I am saying today, if this is much, much needed for the country, and we have to do this 75.6 million, give the people relief now. Ain't we paying for it? It's you, St. Martin. You are paying for it. You are paying for it. And you know what is going to happen? I asked a specific question. What happens if GB defaults on the loan? These are not my answers. The Honorable Prime Minister said the government will then have to take up the responsibility. It's nice to say the government will take up the responsibility, but government don't make money. You pay us money, St. Martin. So now we're dealing with the bill from the Causeway Bridge, the inflation from salt, the inflation from GEBE, the inflation from gas prices. All of this is we are dealing with it, the people. And it was said that just a matter of time, no one can fool me. We could turn and twist and scream. GEBE will bear the cost. It will not go over to the consumer. GEBE will bear the cost. So, Martin, we are putting 75.6 million in the budget, which CapEx is still has to be repaid. And we repay it by taxes, innovations, revenue generations. Then you still have to deal with your inflated prices across the board. And then, just a matter of time, GB is going to have to make back the money somehow from the 10 generators that they're renting. Somehow from the 20 that was bought. And GEB cannot, because I did my research, absorb this cost for more than a year. Cannot. The businesses are suffering. GEB basically surviving off of commercial expense, the bills from commercial businesses. But what is given? What compensation is given? SHCA did a report, 41% loss of business and 19% loss of stock. The businesses are suffering. The people are out of electricity. The bills will only be higher. 75.6 million. Let me give Sir Martin a little knowledge. There were companies willing to support GEBE. All they requested was up-to-date financials and a reported mechanism yearly. And if they deny it, I'll let everything out of the bag. But they refuse. So then we superheroes? We don't require the same thing? We're not requesting up-to-date financials. Last is what? Audited report for 2019. And then what is going to happen is, when GEB owes us, what are we going to do? Put a lien on them? That is why it is a dangerous situation that we are putting ourselves in. It's dangerous. Because GEB can say tomorrow, well, I ain't got the money, government. What are we going to do? All we can do is pass it on to the people, like we've been doing all the time. Why I don't feel sorry? Amortization. What is that, St. Martin? I own a trucking company. I buy a truck. I know within 5 years how much years I need to buy another truck. So when you're filing your taxes, what happens is you are allowed to deduct a specific amount as the government knows you have to buy a truck for your business in the X coming years. GEBE applies this. So which means the government already says, hey, we're not going to tax you on this amount based on you knowing you need generators in the next 25 years, how much ever years. So they have already been implementing this amortization. That's why I don't feel for them. So government already said, hey, we're not going to collect this. So the money is supposed to be set aside for your generators. Madam Chair, it's time that we put everything together, work together in the interest of the people. And I'm saying this, that I have a different mind frame when it comes to the 75.6 that you're asking. But the difference is, it's been said here that it's a backup, and in the budget it said, approve it and allow the Prime Minister to start the process. When I asked about the agreement, what is the stipulations? What is the percentage that will be there for GEB to pay? What is, we don't know yet, we don't know yet, we don't know yet, we need this approved. And then I hear Madam Chair say a deadline from the Netherlands. Well, I remember when the Inya saga came up, it was said that we're in the position now where we have to approve. But after this, we're going to put our foot down, we're going to start a fight. After this, well, after this is here. Now the Netherlands is dictating for us in our public meeting. We have members of opposition and members of coalition that will not be here. But yet they're dictating, do it now, I guess, or else. What is the or else then? What is the or else? So I spoke about a couple of things. The TOT that is transferred to our people, the ability for GEBE to collect present revenues and future revenues by these hundreds of persons that are disconnected, allowing them to be back on the grid and paying their monthly bills. We spoke of the tariff system and the responsibility and power invested in the minister through ordinances to make adjustments. I'm still not buying the what-if mechanism. Because up to now, Minister of Finance, up to now, you said it through you, Madam Chair, you say it like it is. So I just kind of, just a little bit, not too much, I just kind of trust you a bit more than the rest. But I trust you a lot more than the Prime Minister. Because it's too much, too often, it's contradictory. Too much, too often. And when I request answers, at least the ministers, every other minister gives me the respect to answer them. So I say to you today, after the speech last week by the Honorable, or 2 weeks ago by the Honorable Prime Minister, that this is needed, this is the last hope. And I will say it here. If you are expecting Omar Ottley to support putting 75.6 million on the back of the people, when it was clearly stated now that there is possibility for GEBE to acquire a loan, give the people what they deserve. Let us give them what they deserve. Let us bring the relief to the people. And Madam Chair, I will be presenting a motion in the second round for just that. Relief for the people in a manner that is thought through, a manner that the company can survive. But then when we ask, we don't get the money from, but they're getting it from us. They're getting it from us. And instead of a rate of 6%, 7%, we want to be the ones to give it to them for a lower rate. They're getting it from us. An extension, us are the people. Us are the people. I said it before, we have petitions coming in here about fuel crowds. We have people getting strokes. We have people in the hospital. Let us do what we need to do together. For any of my colleagues, any questions you have, we will sit, we will discuss. And I hope that I can count on your support. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Ottley, for your contributions, questions, and comments with respect to the topic at hand. I now invite MP Brug to take the floor.